War, as any bureaucrat will tell you, is a matter of logistics, paperwork, and ensuring your boots are polished while someone shoots at you. Hollywood would have you believe it is filled with muscular heroes making sensible decisions. This is, of course, a lie. Real war is a chaotic mess where the only people who survive are the ones crazy enough to ignore the rules of survival. Today, we examine 5 statistical errors, 5 men and 1 bear who looked at the laws of probability, laughed, and then promptly violated them. These are not heroes in the traditional sense. They are men who were simply too stubborn to die when the paperwork said they should. Consider the case of Lachhiman Gurkha. In 1945, in the jungles of Burma, the Japanese army decided to attack his trench with 200 men. This was, tactically speaking, rude. A grenade landed next to Lachhiman. It exploded, removing his fingers and shattering his left arm. Now, according to standard military procedure, when one loses an arm, one is expected to faint, retire, or at least complain. Lachhiman did none of these things. He decided that having 2 arms was a luxury he could do without. He jammed his bayonet into the mud to balance his rifle, loaded it with his 1 remaining hand and occasionally his teeth, and proceeded to shoot anyone who looked at him funny. For 4 hours. He screamed, "Come and fight a Gurkha," which was a very polite invitation considering he was currently bleeding to death. By morning, 31 enemy soldiers lay dead. Lachhiman was still sitting there. He had survived because he simply refused to acknowledge the fact that he was supposed to be dead. It was a triumph of willpower over biology. Armies are strict about regulations, no unpolished buttons, no hands in pockets, but apparently there is no specific regulation against enlisting a 500-pound Syrian brown bear. His name was Wojtek. The Polish Second Corps found him in Iran. He was the perfect infantryman. He didn't complain about the food, he didn't ask for leave, and he drank beer straight from the bottle. He also ate lit cigarettes, which is a terrible habit, but nobody was brave enough to tell him to stop. At the Battle of Monte Cassino, while human men were collapsing under the weight of artillery crates, Wojtek stood up. He picked up 100-pound boxes of ammunition as if they were sandwiches and walked into the artillery fire. He didn't drop a single crate. He was promoted to corporal. He was officially outranking human men. It makes you wonder about the promotion system, doesn't it? And then there was Desmond, a man who joined an organization dedicated to killing people, specifically so he could refuse to kill people. The army, in its infinite wisdom, tried to kick him out for being crazy. They sent him to Okinawa, the bloodiest place on earth, armed with a Bible and a smile. On Hacksaw Ridge, when the Americans retreated, Doss stayed. He spent 12 hours crawling through the mud, dragging wounded men to the edge of a cliff. The Japanese were hunting him. He was unarmed. Logic dictates he should have been shot immediately. Instead, he lowered 75 men down a rope one by one. He kept praying, "Lord, help me get one more." He was a pacifist doing the most violent job in the world, saving the very men who had called him a coward. It was completely nonsensical and utterly magnificent. In war, the objective is simple: shoot the machine with the different colored paint. Franz Stigler, a German ace, forgot this rule. He encountered an American B-17 bomber that was so full of holes it looked like Swiss cheese flying in formation. The crew was bleeding, the guns were dead. Stigler had his finger on the trigger. He could have blown them out of the sky and gone home for schnitzel and a medal. But Stigler suffered from a rare condition called humanity. Instead of firing, he flew beside them. He guided them through the German flak. He saluted and flew away. He risked a firing squad to save an enemy he was sworn to destroy. It was a terrible dereliction of duty and the finest thing a pilot ever did. Finally, we have Audie Murphy, a man who joined an organization dedicated to killing people, specifically so he could refuse to kill people. The army, in its infinite wisdom, tried to kick him out for being crazy. They sent him to Okinawa, the bloodiest place on earth, armed with a Bible and a smile. In France, facing a German tank assault, Audie ordered his men to run away. He then looked at a burning American tank destroyer, a vehicle that is essentially a bomb on tracks, and thought, yes, that looks like a safe place to stand. He climbed onto the burning hull. He manned the machine gun. For an hour, he turned the German army into Swiss cheese. He was on the radio. He was shooting snipers. The tank was exploding beneath his feet, and he was having the time of his life. He killed 50 men. He won every medal the United States could invent. He was 5 feet 5 inches of pure, concentrated rage. These men prove that war is not about who has the best plan. It is about who is the most gloriously insane. They broke every rule of survival, and in doing so, they became legends. Which of these impossible stories was your favorite? Tell me in the comments, and do subscribe. It's the only logical thing to do.